My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, there are moments in life when we feel like the waves are too high and the storm too strong. We look around and see no light, and our strength begins to fail. We fall to our knees not because we are praying, but because we have no energy left to stand. And in those moments, the voice of fear becomes loud. The voice of despair whispers lies. The enemy tries to convince us that all is lost. But I want to tell you something deeply important today, something that I believe is not from me, but from the heart of the Lord Himself. Do not give up. God is with you in the battle. You may be tired. You may be wounded. You may have questions that seem to have no answers. But even in your exhaustion, even in your brokenness, God has not abandoned you. He walks with you. He fights beside you. And when you feel like you cannot take another step, He lifts you up on His shoulders and carries you through. Do not be afraid of your weakness. Do not be ashamed of your tears. When Jesus fell under the weight of the cross, He too was weak in the flesh. But He rose again with love burning in His heart. And He calls us to follow Him, not because we are strong, but because He is. Some people believe that faith means never doubting, never struggling. But look at the saints. Look at David, who cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Look at Job, sitting in the dust, scraping his wounds, wondering why suffering had come upon him. Look at Mary, standing at the foot of the cross, her heart pierced by sorrow. These were not moments of defeat. They were moments of deep faith, faith that chooses to believe even when all seems lost. God does not wait for us to be perfect before He helps us. He does not expect us to fight every battle alone. When we cry out to Him from the depths of our suffering, He listens, He comes. He embraces us like a father embracing a child who has fallen. And He says, "Do not be afraid, I am here." It is easy to believe in God when the sun is shining, when the path is smooth. But the true test of faith is when the night is long, when the road is steep, when the heart is heavy. That is when faith becomes an act of courage. That is when trusting in God becomes a decision made not with the mind, but with the soul. And let me tell you, God honors that kind of faith. He does not forget the tear you cry in silence. He does not ignore the prayer that comes from a broken heart. He is near to the crushed in spirit. The scriptures say that even a bruised reed He will not break, and a smouldering wick He will not snuff out. He nurtures us gently. He strengthens us slowly, like the rising of the dawn. The world tells you to be strong, but God tells you, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." When you come to the end of your strength, you are in the perfect place to experience His. Never give up. Even if everyone turns away, even if the night grows darker, even if your hands tremble and your feet falter, never give up, because you are not walking alone. The one who formed you in your mother's womb, the one who knows every hair on your head, is beside you. He is not distant. He is not indifferent. He is Emmanuel, God with us. When Jesus knelt in the Garden of Gethsemane, He too felt fear. He too asked if the cup might pass. But He also said, "Not my will, but yours be done." And the angels came to strengthen Him. In your Gethsemane, God will send His angels. He will send peace to your spirit. He will send people to walk with you. Sometimes He sends silence, and in that silence He speaks most tenderly. There are no battles He has not seen. There are no wounds He cannot heal. There are no failures He cannot redeem. What seems like the end to you may be the beginning of something glorious to Him. So do not define your life by your pain. Do not build your identity on your suffering. You are not your failures. You are not your scars. You are a beloved child of God. And to you who are discouraged, to you who feel unworthy, to you who think it's too late, listen carefully. It is never too late for God. The thief on the cross found paradise in his final breath. God's timing is not our timing. His ways are not our ways, but His love is constant. His mercy is everlasting, and His promises are true. He does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He does not choose the flawless. He chooses the willing. If your heart says yes to Him, even a trembling, whispering yes, that is enough. That is where miracles begin. I urge you, keep praying, keep loving, keep walking. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need enough light for the next step, and that light will come. It always comes. And when you feel weakest, remember this. It was on the cross, when Jesus appeared defeated, that He was in fact triumphing over death. It is in your own crosses that resurrection is being prepared. Suffering will not have the last word. Love will. So I say again, never give up. The battle may be long, but you are not alone in it. The victory has already been won, not by power, not by might, but by a love so deep it went to the grave for you and rose again. Hold on, trust, keep going, and let your heart know this truth. God is with you in the battle. And when you rise each morning and wonder how you will get through the day, I invite you to start with a small prayer, not with fancy words, not with elaborate praise, but with the honesty of a child speaking to a loving father. Say, Lord, I cannot do this alone. That is enough. That simple cry opens heaven. That humble whisper is more powerful than 1,000 speeches. God does not need our perfection. He delights in our dependence. He delights when we lean on Him, not because we are trying to impress Him, but because we are trusting Him. Trust is what moves the heart of God, not strength, not eloquence, not control, but trust. Think of the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' robe. She didn't make a grand request. She didn't interrupt Him. She didn't even speak. She just reached out with faith, and power flowed into her weakness. Jesus turned and said, "Your faith has made you well." He is still turning toward those who reach for Him in faith. And He is saying the same thing today. There is so much pressure in the world to succeed, to perform, to appear strong. But the gospel is not about appearance. It is about transformation. It is about God entering our mess, our fear, our doubts, and whispering, "You are mine." The Good Shepherd does not abandon the one sheep that goes astray. He leaves the 99 and searches until He finds it. Maybe you feel like that one sheep today. If so, take heart. The shepherd is on his way to you. Do not measure God's presence by how you feel. Feelings are real, but they are not always true. Sometimes you may feel abandoned, but you are not. Sometimes you may feel empty, but you are filled more than you know. The Spirit of God is not loud or boastful. Often He comes like a gentle breeze, like a still small voice, but He is there. He is always there. Some of the most beautiful things grow in hidden places. The roots of a tree go deep underground where no one sees them, but that is where the strength is. Your prayers in secret, your silent endurance, your faith in the shadows, they are building something eternal. You may not see it now, but God sees it. God sees you, and when you fall again, and you will, as we all do, don't stay down, get up, not because you are strong, but because grace is stronger. The devil wants you to think that every fall disqualifies you. But God sees your desire to stand again, and every time you rise, you are declaring, "Love has not given up on me, and I will not give up either. I think of Peter, who denied Jesus 3 times. His heart was broken by his own failure. But Jesus restored him with 3 simple words. Do you love me? And not, did you do everything right? And not, will you promise never to fail again? Just, do you love me? That's what the Lord asks of us. Even in your weakness, do you love him? Even in your doubts, do you love him? Even with your wounds, do you love him? If the answer is yes, then grace will do the rest. Sometimes you may walk through long seasons where nothing seems to change. You pray and the mountain doesn't move. You fast and the chains remain. But what you cannot see is what God is doing under the surface. He is preparing you. He is refining you. He is teaching you to lean not on your own strength, but on His. There are victories we only understand in hindsight. There are battles that feel like losses, but become doorways to deeper peace. The cross looked like defeat. The tomb looked like the end, but it was all part of the plan. The silence of Saturday gave way to the glory of Sunday. Your silence, too, may be preparing a resurrection. So if you're still waiting for the breakthrough, still aching for the answer, still clinging to hope, don't stop. Don't let go. The night may be long, but joy comes in the morning. It always comes. Every morning you choose to believe again, even with trembling hands and an anxious heart. You are waging a holy battle. It is not a war fought with weapons, but with hope. Hope that refuses to die. Hope that whispers, I don't see the way, but I know the one who is the way. And yes, the world may mock such hope. It may call it naive or foolish. But remember, it was hope that led Moses to stretch out his staff at the Red Sea. It was hope that gave strength to the widow of Zarephath to bake bread with her last handful of flour. It was hope that helped Paul and Silas sing hymns in a prison cell. That same hope now lives in you, a hope that cannot be extinguished because it is rooted not in circumstances, but in the unchanging heart of God. God's promises are not like the promises of men. His word does not fade. What He has spoken over your life will not return void. Maybe you've been waiting for years. Maybe your prayers seem buried under silence. But delay is not denial. In the waiting, God is still working. He is not ignoring you. He is preparing something far greater than what you even know how to ask for. And sometimes what God prepares does not come in the form we expect. He does not always calm the storm. Sometimes He calms us in the storm. He does not always remove the thorn. Sometimes He gives us grace enough to bear it. He does not always open the door we want. Sometimes He builds a new path entirely. His ways are higher. His thoughts are deeper. And His timing is perfect even when it breaks our expectations. So hold on, even if your hold feels weak, because it is not the strength of your grip that saves you, but the strength of the one who holds you. You may feel like you're hanging on by a thread, but that thread is woven by the hands of mercy. It will not snap. It is tied to eternity. I know some of you are carrying burdens no one sees. You walk into rooms with a smile, but inside you are weary. You show up, you serve, you give, but your own soul feels empty. And yet, here you are, still listening, still searching, still trying. That is not weakness. That is incredible courage. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. Not in a single moment, but inch by inch, prayer by prayer, breath by breath. You don't need to feel holy to be holy. Holiness often looks like faithfulness in small, hidden places. It looks like showing up to pray when you feel nothing. It looks like forgiving when you've been hurt deeply. It looks like holding your tongue when anger burns. it looks like blessing others while your own heart aches. These small acts, done in secret, are powerful. They echo in heaven, they are not forgotten, and God is not looking for heroes. He is looking for hearts, hearts that are open, hearts that are willing, hearts that can say, Lord, I don't understand, but I trust you. I can't see the full picture, but I know you are good. That trust, even the size of a mustard seed, can move the mountains in your life. And so, my brothers and sisters, I leave you with this truth written not only in Scripture, but echoed in the lives of every soul who has clung to God through trial. Never give up, because you never fight alone. The same God who walked with Abraham up the mountain, who stood with Daniel in the lion's den, who entered the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that same God stands with you now. He is your strength in weakness, your light in darkness, your shelter in the storm. Lift your eyes, dry your tears, and take one more step, not because the road is easy, but because God is with you in the battle. And with him, victory is not just possible, it is certain. Thanks for watching.